Hey, how you doing? I just got back from holiday. Went for a lovely week in South Wales. It was very beautiful. I've got a couple of videos coming out on that. But I got back home and I went round all the local charity shops in my local town, as well as a few other local towns. And it seems that not a lot of other people have been there either, because the amount of physical media had just built up and up, and I actually managed to get loads of cool stuff upon arrival getting home. And also I'm very friendly with a lot of the managers of a lot of these shops nowadays, because they all know me and they all watch this channel, and sometimes they save things for me because they know my tastes, which is a huge privilege. That's massive, and they like to see me show it on the channel. So yeah, I don't really know where to start. I've got records, I've got CDs, I've got movies, a bunch of stuff to show. But first, it all starts with a cup of tea. Yesterday, a bunch of CDs had come in, like loads of boxes, and they just let me look through them. So got quite a few that I picked out. So first up we have Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon. This is the 1994 CD edition. I don't know how this sounds. I used to own a 80s copy of this, and I got rid of it because I felt that the vinyl I had was so much superior. But I don't know. I can't speak for this one because I've never heard it. So let me know whether it's worth keeping this in addition to the vinyl. If not, I'll be trading it probably into Olaf's record store. Similar to that, another classic album, another really obvious one, Rumours by Fleetwood Mac. I already own this on vinyl twice. So yeah, I think this might be one for trade. I do have some other Fleetwood Mac records on CD. And a few on vinyl as well, actually. This one was quite interesting. This was London Grammar with their album If You Want. Is that the name of it? Yep. This was their first album. I don't think they followed it up for a long time, but I've already got this on CD. But this is like a deluxe edition with a second CD, so I don't know what those tracks are. Maybe they're sort of B-sides and whatnot. But this is quite a nice little package. Quite nice. These guys had quite a cool sound, a bit like Florence and the Machine meets the XX, that kind of British indie sort of middle class sound. I quite like this album. I really like the track Night Call, which is a cover, really good cover version, song Night Crawl. These next two CDs I picked up about a month ago, but I just haven't shown them yet. I picked up a couple of CDs by the band Saint Etienne, and as a result of picking these up in a £3 for £1 deal in Bernardo's charity shop, I believe, I've actually gotten really, really into them, and I personally think these two are probably the best. This is Too Young to Die, Saint Etienne, the singles 1990 to 1995. Essentially, I've always known about this band because I've always been a big fan of their cover of Only Love Can Break Your Heart, where they take that classic Neil Young song and they really just flip it on its head and do this kind of acid house dance version of it, changing the chords underneath and whatnot. But I didn't know they had so much other great music. This is just all their singles up to 1995, and it's so friggin' good. These guys are amazing. It's like dance pop, but with like a 60s influence coming in, and some of their albums are really good as well. If there's another Saint Etienne CD which I'd like to get, is their second album. That's a really good album. But yeah, virtually every single song on here is just super catchy, super earwormy. Great band. Hey, sorry about that. I had to answer the door. My friggin' brother's ordering clothes again. So yeah, so many good songs on here. One of my absolute favourites is You're in a Bad Way, which is such a lovely, nostalgic pop song. So many good songs on here. And also with that, I got their album Good Humour, released in about 1997 or 98. 1998. It was on Creation Records. And this is like 90s like pop, but it's very much inspired by a lot of 60s lounge music like Burt Bacharach and things like that. It's a really good pastiche of that kind of stuff, but there's a few really standout tracks on this album. There's some kind of mid tracks, but there's some really good ones, such as Mr. Donut and a track called Goodnight Jack, which is just incredible. It reminds me of Tame Impala Lonerism. It's like got that sound about it, 15 years before that album came out. Check out the track Goodnight Jack, it's so good. I also picked up a copy of Ultraviolence by Lana Del Rey. I've got the album Born to Die, which I love, and it's the Paradise edition with the additional EP. This is from that period as well, So I hope I like this. I think this is pretty acclaimed, this album, but I've never heard it. I picked up a couple of Madonna CDs. This is kind of a coincidence because I was thinking about ditching my vinyl copies of these for CD, and then, you know, miraculously they literally just appear like pretty soon after I thought that. So we have the Immaculate Collection, which I do have on vinyl, but it's a really beat up vinyl copy. I think I got this for very cheap because it's so beat up. This record, it just sounds a little bit sort of used and a bit damaged, so I'm going for CD for now and trading this for some money. And the exact same story again for her album True Blue, which I was listening to the other day, and I thought the exact same thing of. I thought this doesn't sound great, you know, this original vinyl copy, so found a CD copy. These were all in a 3 for £1 deal. I picked up these yesterday. Miles Davis, Kinda Blue on CD, or Columbia CD. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I've never owned this album before, ever. Like, this is such an obvious album. Never had it. I have some of the tracks from it, because I've got a Miles Davis anthology CD. These next ones were all in a 5 for £1 deal, but the shop gave me a discount of £1.50, so I got 10 for £1.50, so pretty incredible value. And also his album Sketches of Spain, another classic album. I think it came out the following year. Apparently it's a jazz masterpiece, is what the hype sticker on the front claims it to be. I'm sure it is. But this was purchased at an airport, apparently, because it's from the duty-free section. So it was duty-free, £5, originally £5.88. I also got some Supertramp with Even in the Quietest Moments. I've seen this album cover many, many times, but never owned it. I'm really getting towards collecting all of the classic Supertramp albums from the 70s. This was one I didn't have, and I really like the nostalgic special price sticker on there. Something very, very 90s about that. Also, I'm not sure if I showed this, but I also picked up an autobiography of Supertramp a little while ago. This is a bit beat up, but yeah, got this in a charity shop. And also, funnily enough, on the same day, this is a really strange coincidence, I found this album by The Police, and I was literally thinking about trading in my vinyl copy of it for the same reasons as the Madonna album, which is just a really weird coincidence that I found the CD replacements all from the same place at the same time, as the same time I was trading all the records. This is just really strange. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'm the biggest fan of this album, so I'm happy to downsize it, at least, to CD. So whilst in Wales on holiday, I went to Hay-on-Wye, which is an incredible town. It's one of my favourite towns ever, to be honest, and I'm going to do a dedicated video on that. But whilst in Wales, I picked up one thing outside of Hay-on-Wye, and it was this, John and Vangelis. I picked this up in a town near to where we stayed called Crickhow, which had a few charity shops, and this was the only thing I could find, vinyl, £2. And I walked across the road into a pub, and immediately a guy came up to me and like congratulated me on the album, saying it's a really good album, like great choice. I'm not going to attempt to do a Welsh accent, but yeah. I was really pleasantly surprised by this album. I actually enjoyed it a lot. I felt that John Anderson's kind of fairy tale vocals went quite nicely with the lush soundscapes and, you know, big rich sounds of Vangelis. And this album was released in 1981, so around the same time that Vangelis would have been doing the Blade Runner soundtrack. And that really shows in a lot of the sonic landscapes, you know, very similar to that. There are some real moments of true gorgeosity on this album, some really lush, beautiful stuff. I mean, I've only listened to this once, so it's difficult to sort of dish out a proper opinion on it, but on initial first listen, I've enjoyed it a lot, and I thought it had some beautiful moments. Yeah, there was a kind of a silly song on here as well called Back to School, which I quite enjoyed. But yeah, for a £2 charity shop record, this was good. I'll be listening to this again. It's in really good shape as well. The sleeve's a bit beat up, but the record's mint. So continuing with more vinyl, basically yesterday I helped my girlfriend to put a bunch of her records into her Discogs, because I'm a bit more of an expert about certain pressings and things like that. So, you know, we sorted through everything, and got it all catalogued properly. But while she was going through her collection, she decided to chuck out a few bits and pieces that she didn't think that she would ever listen to, and she just gave them to me, because I'm an avid record collector. So basically this record, Crybaby by Melanie Martinez, I bought this for her birthday ages ago, And she basically turned around to me yesterday and said, I don't even think I want to own this anymore. Basically, this artist was accused of some very dodgy stuff, some very unsavory things, to say the least. Bit dodgy, really. But my girlfriend basically just said, like, I just don't want to listen to this artist after they've been accused of this horrible thing, you know. So she just said that, you know, if I want it, I can just take it. And I can kind of separate the art from the artist pretty well. So I said, why not? I'll take it, I'll put it in the collection, and I'll probably be listening to this. So this is, Crybaby. It was a pop album released in 2015. I actually quite enjoy this. I'm not saying it's like the greatest pop album ever made, but I think conceptually and production-wise, I think it's very well realised and very sort of, branded very well. And every single one of these songs is very, very catchy, and I quite like the lyrical themes. And I'm pleased that this particular vinyl release contains a bunch of bonus tracks which were part of the album. So yeah, I remember listening to this a lot around 2016, and I have a lot of nostalgia for it. I really don't care for anything this artist has done since this album. I think her newer stuff is rubbish. But yeah, what can I say? I just got a bit of a sweet spot for this album. I have quite a bit of nostalgia for it, and apparently this is a very good pressing. So I was happy to take this off her hands and bring it into the collection. She also gave me a couple of Jimi Hendrix titles, which is great because I'm really collecting Jimi Hendrix on vinyl at the moment. So basically, these are in her collection, in her record boxes, but effectively I think they originally belonged to her stepfather, who is also like one of my closest friends and one of the main viewers of this channel. It's hard to describe. We're all like really close, like family. But I messaged him and he said I could just have them. I think he used to work at like a massive dealership of like rare records and rare collectibles, and he used to just be given loads of stuff for free working there. And I'm assuming that's kind of where these came from. So he was happy to give them to me, as he's not really collecting records at the moment. So first off, we have an album called The Rainbow Bridge. I haven't given this a proper listen yet, but I've listened to a couple of tracks and I really liked what I heard. I don't know if this was recorded after Electric Ladyland, perhaps in 69 or something, I'm not sure. Yeah, I really enjoyed what I heard and I can't wait to give this a proper spin. This is a gatefold LP released on Reprise Records, the classic Reprise label, which I love. Awesome addition into the collection, especially for free. And then, the same deal again here. We have Blue Wild Angel, Jimi Hendrix. This is a triple LP live at the Isle of Wight Festival. This is a bit of a beat up copy, as you can see, pretty rough around the edges, but I'm sure most of this will sound good and be playable. It's not the best pressing in the world. There's actually like excess of vinyl like attached to the run out groove, which is like a bit of a quality control thing going on, but more than happy to take this and put it in my Hendrix collection. Like, this is pretty incredible, just getting given some Hendrix memorabilia to go with my other records. So I really look forward to giving this a proper spin. I thought whilst I show those, I might as well just show my other Hendrix LPs if you haven't seen them already. I got the American version of Are You Experienced, which has an awesome cover, absolutely brilliant album cover, and it's a better version of the album as well. I've got the nudity cover of Electric Ladyland, which I got for a really good deal. It's the 1984 press. And I also have probably an 80s pressing of the Smash Hits record, originally released in 1969, I think. So yeah, really working my way towards collecting all of the classic Hendrix stuff. In addition to those two, she also gave me this Rick Wakeman LP. I'm a big fan of Rick Wakeman as a keyboard player, and I've never heard any of his solo records, and apparently this is pretty damn good if you're into that kind of thing. Unfortunately, this the sleeve on this, all of the glue has died on this sleeve, so it creates like this kind of thing. But you do still get to appreciate the beautiful gatefold. What better thing to put on a gatefold than that? I also found this in a charity shop. This is Grace Under Pressure by Rush. I found loads of Rush LPs for dirt cheap a little while back, and I'm still waiting to make that video, but I want to listen to the LPs and really absorb them before I kind of do a commentary on them. And I have this one already, so this will be getting traded. But this is an old library copy. This has had the outer sleeve stapled to it. and it was borrowed from the London Borough of Sutton Libraries and Arts Services. This was from Wallingham Library, and it was borrowed 5 times between the 15th of September 1984 and the 18th of May 1985. So, yeah, it doesn't seem like it was in the library that long. I might as well mention, this might be a bit of a controversial move, but I've decided that I'm going to be trading in most of my Simon & Garfunkel records. So I've got Bridge Over Troubled Water, Past Me Sage, Rosemary in Time, and Sound of Silence. Now, before you all kind of like get your pitchforks out, there's a reason for this. I was lucky enough to find this in a charity shop, Simon & Garfunkel The Collection on CD, and this little box set is absolutely beautiful. It's almost like a little vinyl box set, except it's CDs. So you get like little mini CD versions of every album contained within this box. Listening to these, this is a huge upgrade over the LPs. The original LPs that I've got from the 60s are far more lo-fi. They have so much sibilance in the vocals. But listening to these CD versions, the sound is so much clearer. So to save a bit of space, I'm trading most of the LPs. I think I'm going to keep Bookends because it's got such a brilliant, iconic cover, and it's probably my favourite of all the albums. But as for the other ones, I'll be listening to them on CD, and I love listening to these. Simon & Garfunkel are one of the most relaxing bands to listen to, in my opinion. Like, it's just such beautiful, like, relaxing, soothing, like really old-fashioned pop music, you know. They're a 60s band, but they almost sound older than that, you know. They almost feel like a 50s or 40s band in a weird kind of way. They have this very old-fashioned sort of folky sensibility. But yeah, I just love these little mini LPs, and like all the CDs are contained in like little nice cases. It's just wonderful. It's just a beautiful thing. And yeah, this way I get like a really high quality version of every Simon & Garfunkel album, everything they ever did, including a load of B-sides as well, because all of these CDs contain bonus tracks, and I get to just save loads of space and get the highest quality version. So it just seems like a no-brainer, really. So I was very lucky because the person that let me have those Hendrix LPs also gave me a very special gift, and that is a bunch of movies on Blu-ray in this classic 80s format. This is a bunch of classic 70s and 80s movies on Blu-ray, which are made out to look like they're on VHS. How friggin' cool is this? So I've already been collecting these. These are from HMV. These are like an exclusive thing that HMV were doing about 8 years ago or so, 9 years ago, where you got the Blu-ray set same as a normal Blu-ray, but it would come in this ultra like nostalgic case, and you got a poster and things like that. But my friend, he basically is really mad into the 4K stuff. He basically exclusively collects 4Ks, and he just wanted rid of these, you know, because he owns half of these movies on 4K anyway. So he just decided to hand them over to me as I'm already collecting these. So we got Beverly Hill Cop with Eddie Murphy there. We have a Kevin Bacon movie, which I've never seen or heard of, The Tremors. Really nice. And we have a classic movie, which I've never owned, Scarface with Al Pacino. Don't know how I don't have this, but man, so cool to get the VHS Blu-ray edition. And also Jaws, which, again, don't own it. Classic movie, don't own it. That is a very nice thing to receive. So thank you very much, Matt. So in addition to all that other stuff, there were quite a few Blu-rays in the charity shops, which I'm going to whiz through very quickly, because there are some absolute belters in here. We have the original Godfather, the first one. We have Titanic. This is a bloody 4-disc set. This is like a 2-disc Blu-ray set. And then in addition to that, you get a 2-disc 3D Blu-ray set. Like 4 discs in this bloody thing. It's ridiculous. We have Into the Spider-Verse, which I quite enjoyed when it first came out, so I look forward to watching this again. I think my friend said that this is his favourite Spider-Man movie ever. The first ever Lego movie, which I think was pretty good, just the first one. The Incredibles 2. Love Actually, this is a Christmas classic. We always like watching this on Christmas, and I found a sealed Blu-ray copy of it when I got home. So we'll definitely be watching this at Christmas time. My mum really enjoys this. Not saying it's the greatest movie ever made, far from it, but it's just a good one. Good, funny, nostalgic comedy film to watch around that time of year. We have a movie called Magnolia with Tom Cruise. This is very long, never watched it. A Quiet Place Part 2, very, very new film to find in a charity shop. I quite like the first one. A horror movie called Let Me In, which got pretty good reviews, and it was pretty rated by Stephen King. Apparently it's okay. We have The Social Network, never seen it. The original Paranormal Activity, I used to like this as a kid, no idea if it holds up. Drive, which is very rated by a lot of people, but I can't say I've seen it. This is just a theme with this, I haven't seen any of these. We have a BFI title, which I picked up literally just because it was a BFI title. This is After Love. Another horror movie, which appears to be very, very well rated. It's gotten 5-star reviews from many people, including Mark Kermode, and that is Saint Maud. Saint Maud? Apparently this is very good. And last but not least, I found the first series of The Sopranos. I can't seem to find the other series on individual Blu-ray boxes, so when I get done watching this, I'm not sure what I'll do. So that was it. That was all the stuff I've been getting in the last couple of days since I got back from holiday. Thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned for my Wales videos. Cheers.